control center. First of all, on an iPhone with a Face ID, I have a Face ID for my iPhone. I swipe down from the right-hand corner and I get my control center. If you have an iPhone with a home button, and this is what we encountered last week, if you have an iPhone with a home button, that kind of indentation at the bottom, that's your home button, you swipe up from the bottom to get to your control center. So that's the first thing. The next thing was, how do you add, the question was, how do you add things to the control center? So you do that by going to settings.
I'll find out who it is.
You could just mute everybody for the time being.
Yeah, I'll mute all and you mute all. Unmute.
There. Okay. So how do you add things to the control center? So here's the control center again. The areas where they're considering adding things are these apps that are on the bottom, like the flashlight, the camera. I have to go back to the control center. Whatever this is, I think that is a timer. And the calculator, a remote control. This happens to be Shazam. That's a scanning, and the last one is wallet. So if I want to add something to that, I get out of the control center completely. So now I'm out of the control center. And instead I go to settings, and you look for the gear. That's where your settings are. Open settings, and it should say settings right up at the top. I scroll down until I find the words control center. Here it is. So I touch control center. And now here's something that I want you to notice. Up at the top of the screen, it says control center. To the left of that, it says setting with an arrow backwards. So that's like your breadcrumbs. So you know where you are and how you got there. So I got there from settings. So I'm going to go back to control center. So these here, it says, I don't know, this is pretty, it's gray, so you can barely see it. It says included controls. So these are the apps that are included on the control center, on my control center. If I want to remove one of them, like I want to remove the wallet, I touch that. I touch the red circle with the white line in it, and remove comes up, and I touch remove. What happens is that it jumps down here to more controls. And there it is down there. These, under more controls, these are the only apps that you can add to the control center, as far as I can tell. I didn't find anything that told me any different from that. So if I want to add, for example, the alarm to the control center, I touch the plus green, and look, it's jumped up to the control center. Now I'm going to go look at the control center and see if the alarm is there. And there it is. It's the bottom right, the last thing there. But I don't want it at the bottom right. I want it right next to camera. So I'm going to touch these three gray lines, and you notice how it kind of got a shadow behind it. And I'm going to move it by pulling it. I'm touching and holding and moving it to the top. And now flashlight, camera, alarm. And I check, and there it is, flashlight, camera, alarm. I've changed the order of those apps on in the control center. Okay, that was all kind of a reminder of what we did last week. Are there any questions about that?